Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular. Welcome to your mystery reading. The first thing that we're going to do is draw out a couple cards from the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot to sort of get the context or the general energy of your reading. If you want to be a part of the community that I'm trying to create, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you're interested, you can also find me on TikTok. The link to that will be in the description. And before I get you your first card, remember that this is a general reading that could be meant for more than one person. So if you're struggling to find meaning in a message, that's okay, just let it go, because it might just be meant for someone else. If it truly was meant for you, the universe and your spirit guides will make that obvious to you, either sometime during this reading or sometime during your journey. While I was saying that, I was getting strong messages about time or a clock, a ticking clock, maybe a time bomb. We'll just have to get more cards to see what exactly that's about. But for the first card, I have the Queen of Swords. With this Queen of Swords, I get this sense of urgency. This is either about needing to push yourself more or to not, be so hard on yourself. I feel like you're really being called to find a balance between work and play. And to do that, you really need to look deep within yourself to find balance mentally, emotionally, and maybe even spiritually, so that way you can release things in this physical reality that aren't meant for you or that aren't aligned with you. Your mind, your thoughts should be your main focus right now. You should be your main focus, especially because I saw 222. That ticking time bomb energy, you could be, maybe you feel like there's an impending tower moment. I saw 2, 3, 4. Trust that everything happens for a reason. The challenges that you're going through is happening for a reason. And I'm feeling this energy of what I like to call beautiful destruction. So even though what you're going through is challenging and maybe even scary, there's also a lot of beauty in it, and I think it has a lot to do with your strength as well. I think this Queen of Swords is really about clarity and investing in yourself so that way you can have sharp judgment. I've been watching Judge Judy lately. I've never really watched her when I was growing up. I was always annoyed to see it on TV when the parents wanted to watch it or whatever. But now when I watch it, it's really interesting. I just saw 333. So there could definitely be something here about justice or balancing the scales, really changing your luck here. There's a lot of power behind healing and really stepping into your Queen of Swords energy. And something that really represents the Queen of Swords is honesty. And the Queen of Cups for me is about compassion. So I feel like you're really being called to be honest with yourself. And don't be kind to yourself, but I feel like, be kind to yourself. Be honest with yourself and be kind to yourself while you're being honest with yourself. But be careful of not being strict enough with yourself, of not having stronger boundaries with yourself. I'm going to go ahead and draw another card. Just heard sneezing in the background. Maybe you did too, but there could also, I feel like that's a sign about blessings or recognizing the blessings that you have and being able to manifest more blessings by focusing on what you already have. But for your second card, wow, that's really interesting. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is all about, what do you call it? It's all about your intuition. And there's definitely something here about helping yourself see things clearer, so that way your inner voice and your intuition can become much louder and much easier to follow. I feel called to say that the difference between fear and your intuition is like a calm knowing, the best way to describe it, and fear is like screaming at you. But also don't, we worry for a reason. We have fear for a reason. Just pay attention to what is generating that fear. And I'm also feeling something here about know the difference between ill intent and survival instincts. Maybe that's a message there to not take things personally from another person, or just don't take judgment from others in general too seriously. Definitely care more about what you think about yourself and make sure that you are following your own morals and your own values. It's just so interesting because this air energy is very, very, very strong, very cerebral, mental, your thoughts, and I think you need to pay more attention to the kinds of feelings that your thoughts are creating and recognize that you can change how you feel through changing how you think. 654. You're really being called to change your perspective for a reason, and I feel like it's specifically changing your perspective on the challenges in your past and yourself. You need to see yourself ultimately for who you truly are, especially when it comes to your strength. And I'm also feeling this message that if it feels like your intuition is guiding you somewhere, or if you feel called somewhere, follow that calling, because this High Priestess energy is bringing like such a strong sense of mystery. The honesty is coming through again. Maybe you have a lot of potential for power through embodying and spreading the truth about something, and maybe it has something to do with the challenges that you're going through. Just trust that everything happens for a reason, and that in time things will make a lot more sense. I also just realized that this High Priestess has the number 2 on it. It's the only 2 on the table. So I'm definitely feeling that 222 or any variation of 2 could be significant. But if you see like more than 3 2s, like 22222 or something, that's an even stronger message coming through about 222. So pay attention to what the universe and your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you through numbers, specifically 222. Me personally, I feel like it has a lot to do with balance. There's a strong sense of justice here, and how you're being called to bring justice to yourself so you can help bring justice to the collective. Don't underestimate the power of what you're going through right now. I'm feeling that, I think it's an analogy where like diamonds, for them to be formed, they have to be put under a lot of pressure. So just know that you being put on under a lot of pressure is really preparing you to blossom, I want to say, or bloom in a really beautiful way. I think self-expression is important here too. But next I'm going to move on to getting a deck big enough to shuffle from this box of cards that I have. I'm just going to get a couple of these to look deeper into this and to also wrap up this reading. Also, I just realized on this box, There's a 2 there as well. I have things written all over this box, and I'm saying I believe I did it for a reason. I also saw the number 5. 555 could be significant. I just saw 1010 as well. So the universe and your spirit guides, it really feels like they are trying so hard to communicate with you through numbers. So if you feel like you're being bombarded basically by numbers, first off, trust that that's happening for a reason, because I just saw 1, 2, 3. And, you know, really pay attention to what numbers you keep seeing and investigating and trying to understand what message is trying to come through with those numbers. This is where I saw the 5. Give me 1 second. I had to get my cat because she was starting to mess with the curtains in front of my window. And, you know, I had to do something about that. But I feel like that's a message in of itself about, you know, don't be afraid to call someone out, and don't be afraid to say no, and definitely set boundaries, especially with yourself, so that way you can see clearly the intentions of others and, you know, set the proper boundaries with other people. Let's go ahead and get these next couple of cards now. I feel like distractions that could be significant as well. It says, I am terrified of pain and heartbreak. It's hard to accept bad things that happened. Yeah, that's really understandable. 1 second. Cat was starting to dig under my blankets, and I was worried that she was going to mess this setup I have next to me. So I feel like that's the universe and your spirit guides are really urging you to protect yourself from another person, from just people and things that just don't deserve you, that underestimate you. Don't be afraid to use your voice and to step into your more courageous, brute kind of energy, because you're not just compassion and kindness. You're also courage and strength, perseverance, all those amazing things. But this, I am terrified of pain and heartbreak. It's hard to accept bad things that happen. I don't know if I already said it since I got distracted. But yeah, something here about the truth. It's hard to be honest with yourself because it's hard to face the truth. And I think where you need to be focused right now is understanding why it's hard for you to embrace the truth, or to embrace the challenges in your life, or just in general the darker aspects of life. And that's interesting because I just got this vision or whatever of this card that I have. I saw 122, change starts with you. It was in this deck. I saw it, but I didn't pull it. And it's a void that I drew. And I'm feeling strongly here, especially with seeing 122, change starting with you. I think filling some sort of void that you may feel within yourself could encourage others to fill that as well, and ultimately help, you know, save humanity from a giant gaping black hole. Take that however it resonates. But I feel like this fear around pain and heartbreak and disappointment, I think that's a really good time to be kind with yourself, but you have to be honest with yourself. It's okay to look at and accept the truth. Maybe you need to give yourself more permission. I saw 122, to give yourself more permission to make life easier for yourself. I feel like not being hard on yourself is a pretty strong thing coming through here. 2, 3, 4. Trust that everything happens for a reason. It's hard to accept bad things that happen. See, I don't like to use the words good and bad. The way I read it is, it's hard to accept challenging things that happen. I think there's something here about having a more balanced appreciation of life through appreciating not only the light but also the dark, because you need both. You can't have light without the dark. Can't have black without white. I don't know what that could mean. but black and white could definitely be significant colors. I'm feeling something here about looking at things like black in a black and white kind of way, but it's time to stop looking at things that way because there's so much color to life than it may seem at times. I saw 333. That's with this heartbreak, that's giving me strong 3 of Swords energy. So I think investing in yourself is what you really need to be doing right now. Yourself and your healing and giving yourself the closure that you deserve. I just saw 345. You're really being called to find closure for a reason. I feel like it has something to do with your impact and how much your story can really help create change. For your last card, it says, I am important and valuable. I am needed somewhere, even if I can't see it. I'm not a waste and I carry great potential. 666. That's interesting. 333, 666, 999 could also be a significant number for you. 999 for me is all about purpose and potential, and that's so crazy that 999 comes through because I just talked about you making a change or making a difference. If you feel called to be a leader in some way, you're definitely being encouraged by the universe and your spirit guides. I think this 666 card also, if you see 666, probably doesn't mean a bad thing. I've always known it to be the number of unconditional love for self, or just unconditional love in general, but take it how you will. I saw 444, so stay focused on your foundation, your money, your health, the people you surround yourself with, those kinds of things. Really value yourself right now and don't be afraid to say no and to protect yourself. This, I'm needed somewhere, even if I can't see it. That phrase helped me with being able to hold a job because it's like at my job, I'm still needed there. And it may not be in a groundbreaking kind of way, but we're all connected and every piece of the puzzle matters, I guess. But yeah, you really need to recognize your potential and what you're truly capable of. Don't be afraid to tell your story and let jealous people judge and hate. But this reading is getting pretty long, so I think I'll cut it there. I really hope that it was helpful or relevant in some way. If you'd like to hit the like button to show me that is the best way to support me. And if you'd like to offer even more support, you can donate through the thanks button directly below the video. Absolutely not obligated, but always very much appreciated. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any. I'd really, really love to connect with you more. And, feel free to leave. Did I already just say that? Yes, I did. Anyways, thank you so much to those of you who have shown your support thus far. It really means a lot to me, and it really does make a difference. And the last thing I want to say is thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around.